It's a great day to talk hockey with Grant McCagg on HabsCast.
Always a great day with Liam Maguire. And when Canada wins a medal, eh, Liam?
Absolutely, brother.
Cheers, my friend.
Yeah, cheers to you. Cheers to Canada. You know, you play, you only lose one game, but
Yeah.
happened to be a big one.
Yeah.
But great bronze today. Great bronze.
Yeah. 17 goals in the medal round. If we could have kept a few out, might be laughing, but you know,
scored 13 last year, 13 goals in a tournament last year, scored almost 50 this year. And just, as you said, just had a hard time keeping them out.
Yeah. Well, another 4 helpers from Michael Hage. I got the looks like he's probably going to lead the tournament in scoring unless Chihash has a 4-point game or 5-point game today. But
yeah,
Hage with 2 goals and too bad the HabsCast thing's covering it, but 2 goals and 13 assists. McKenna is 1 point behind. Perek 2 behind, but it looks like he's going to end up winning the winning the scoring title, which is pretty. Can't say I predicted that going in. I thought he'd do well, but that good for him. He one player in the last 33 years got more than 13 assists, Liam, and that was Connor Bedard. 3 years ago, he got 14. In the past 33 years, only one player's got more assists than the Hage. Second most in Canadian history. He passed Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Eric Lindros today, who both had 12. So, I mean, that's 3 former first overall picks. Pretty good company for Michael Hage as a 21st overall pick in the 2024 draft. What do you think of his tournament, Liam?
Thought he was outstanding. Everything you just said substantiates that. All you have to do is watch the games and see it. They were the dominant line early. It was really tough losing Brady Martin in the first period last night. And I'm sure among any decisions when you lose, the coaching staff would have sat down and probably regretted the fact they went with 12 forwards and 8D, instead of, maybe going 13-7. You could have slid somebody up, kept the line seamless, and have to think that caused a little bit of an issue. Yet you wouldn't know it in the third period as we erased 1-goal deficits all over the place. It really was a last shot one, and just the irony of it being the checks again, the irony of it being a late goal again, the irony of it being a knockout game again. That will eventually end, but they're on a nice little run against us right now, and we just couldn't defend. Hage was spectacular. I loved everything I saw. I mean, a few little blips here and there, and anybody's game there would be. It's just his play down low, his confidence with the puck, his ability, substantiated by the assist total you just read. I think anybody who watched the games could tell he can really dish. He's got a deceptive shot. He skates extremely well. He really sees the ice well. It's just, there's no wonder where he was in NCAA scoring when he came over, and I'm sure he'll pick that pace right back up. And with any luck, we'll catch him at the end of the year, maybe in a Montreal uniform. So it's just fantastic what the Habs have done here in the last few years. It looks like it's happened overnight. As you know, it has not been, but the growth has been phenomenal. And as Habs fan, with a guy like him coming, let alone everybody else and those that are there, it's just really heady times for Montreal. And he looks spectacular to me. How he wasn't one of the top 3 forwards is an abject farce. We all know why. I certainly do. I'm going to say it here. That's an absolute knock against NCAA. The 3 guys are major junior A guys. 100 boys are making the picks. And they went with their junior A guys and slammed the NCAA guy, not pick the obvious guy to be one of the 3. It's a farce. Everybody knows it. I don't know why the guys on TSN aren't saying it. Why aren't they saying it? It show some balls, for God's sake. It's an obvious snub because he's an NCAA guy. Not that it matters, Grant. It doesn't matter. He's got a little feather on the resume. They won a bronze anyway, so it's not like he's going to tell his grandkids about it if he's picked as one of the top 3 in the year they won the bronze. But it's a snub. It's an obvious reason why. It's no big deal. He was their best forward through the tournament. Anyone who knows hockey knows that. And on we go.
Well, Mike Johnson said it was saying it every night. He's been their best forward. He's been their best player, period. I think Jeff O'Neill said last night that he didn't understand why Michael Hage wasn't one of the three forwards. And I mean, even
it's obvious to me.
Right. Well, even
say it,
like
boys. Have the balls to say it. It's obvious.
And I mean, they give it to O'Reilly too, one of the plays for their freaking team too. Like, come on! Like, could you make it any more obvious?
No, fuck! It's such a joke. But you know what? God love that. You know that's Dale's influence too. You know, Mark played for the Habs, but that's Dale's influence, man. He hates them, and he always has. And that carries over. I know that. You know that. It's no big deal. It's funny, really, more than anything. But moot point. But wow. I'm really happy the boys got the bronze. I remember a couple times in the early 2000s during our stretch, we went 7 years without a gold medal, although we did get some, a couple silvers and a couple bronze in there. And it was a couple years we didn't. And another time, a few years after that, just 10 years ago, we went 5 years without a gold medal. So it can happen, man. This is our B team. That's what we send over every year. We send our B team. Let me ask you this, Grant. And I'm asking, this is a rhetorical question. So I'm not asking you because
you're still on my thunder here.
Well, you know this. I mean, I'm only on for 20 more minutes, but you know this. We win at U17. In fact, our top two teams, our only two teams in the U17, made the final now 2 years in a row. We've dominated there. We win the U18. We won the Olympia. We didn't win it last year for the first time in forever. We've won it like 27 out of 32 years. We're the two-time defending IIHF U18 champions. The last 4 times our best have played in the men, 2010, 2014, 2016, 2025, we won. So the only age group we're not winning right now, and it's been, 3 years, is the U20. Oh, nobody calls it the U20. You call it the World Junior because that's the media term that got hung on it in the 1980s when it started to be televised. I'm not going to call it the U20. It's a world championship. They're junior players. We call it World Junior. But it's the U20. Supposed to be the best 19-year-olds, which we never send. We've sent 3 times in 51 years of competition, and we won 2 golds in a walk. And it's our B team that goes over. It's just normally our B team is good enough to win gold. And that's why we've won 20 golds. And it will be good enough again in the future. But if people would only think about it, we win U17, we win U18, and we win men's. This is the only one we're not winning. Why? Because we got 6 guys in the NHL. So it brings us right down to everybody. And we couldn't defend last night and get that thing into OT. We take that stupid penalty at the end, which was 1,000% deserved, running the goalie, and we lose.
Yeah.
So be it.
Yeah. So you don't agree with this guy, Liam? Sorry, Canada, it's not your game anymore. It's a check, eh? I got a kick out of that. He puts that up and shows that the Czechs beat him 3 times. But check out this. Check out this lineup, Liam. Right? This was what they could have had.
There you go.
There's no Czechs. There's no Czechs that are in the NHL that could have played.
No.
Right? No. Do you think this team would have at least got the Czechs to overtime, Liam?
Look at this. You got like Misa on the third line. I mean, how sick is that with Martin and again as our third line?
Yeah.
I mean, and look at the D. That's the biggest thing too. Like
Dickinson, Schaefer.
Yeah. Atchison goes right out of the roster, and
I put Pickford in there, by the way.
Yeah, and I see you got Pickford in there, and that would have been a great addition. I know there's a couple guys, but I don't want to cry over spilt milk and see like we're sour about it. We're sour when we lose because we know for the most part Canada wins when they play hockey, when our best are available, and they aren't in this tournament. But the casuals, don't know that. And, I give kudos to our Czech buddy there, or wherever he posted that, or whatever social media app. He's all chuffy. And they should beat Sweden. They're a better team, I think. They actually out-Canada'd us last night, if you think about it. Their pace of play, their forecheck, their transition game, their physicality. These are all the things we were known for decades. Right. Eroded from our game, and yet we still, if we have everybody there, that lineup you just posted, Grant, that's just sick, man. You'll have to send me that later. I'd like to post that tomorrow, tomorrow or the day after, when I do a little, if you don't mind, please. If you can send me that later tonight, I'd really like it. I'll credit you for sure. Very, very nice little subtle move, putting Pickford in there.
and the goalie, Ravensburg.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there you go. That's right. I forgot to mention him. Kudos to you, buddy. Kudos to you for doing that. And that's who we could have had. I will print that tomorrow as well and credit you for it. That's very good. I did that in the past a few times. I remember doing it in '99, the Luongo show in Winnipeg, and we had Vinny LeCavalier and Tanguay and these guys missing. I mean, come on. It's year after year, and it's just usually we win. And or if not, we make the gold medal game. We've had some tough losses. The Buffalo loss to Russia was in 2011 was heartbreaking. 2010, the Carlson OT goal. I was there. I was at the 09 game. Obviously, the comeback. I mean, 5.4 seconds. We have snatched victory from the jaws of defeat a bunch of times. And that's because it's a B team, It got a lot of guys who've gone on to great careers in the NHL, but our best teenagers are in the NHL. So it's the reason we crush it at U18 is because we've got everybody available for the Olinka. And winning the double IHF one the last 2 years has really been phenomenal. It's just an indicator of where our game has really improved in youth hockey as we've come along here. And yet you sure wouldn't know that by reading social media today. That's for sure.
No, I know. Yeah. No, and I thought they might pull George after the second period tonight. He was struggling. I thought they might. Yeah. I even thought they might play Ravensburg today because neither of the guys really had stepped up, and it's funny. Like Ravensburg is the best. Certainly the best NHL prospect of the three, just given his size, and he's having the best year too, having a lot better year than George. I get it in the past, George has done it, and I understood why they started him, but it was clear that, he's been struggling this year, and he was struggling here too. And, but they went with the two guys that have won at U17 and U18 and U20 before. And I sort of get it, but Ravensburg, when you got two struggling goalies and you got the third one who's probably the best prospect, I don't know. I would have certainly considered putting him in nets, but hey, that's hindsight. And today, credit to George in the third period, he didn't let in any goals, and credit to the you played. I'm sure you won some B consolation tournaments when you were a kid there, as I did, and hey, it feels good, to still get that ribbon or whatever, and in there, for them it's a medal. I didn't used to get a bronze medal for winning the B consolation tournament, but you get a nice ribbon, and it's something that they can, they'll probably appreciate it more in the future, maybe now, because it still hurts losing because the expectations are always so high, Liam, even with the B team, right? The Canada with 18 first-round picks and everything is always favored. And I mean, in a one-game knockout too, right? You play the Czechs best of 7, that Canadian team against the Czechs. Maybe they win, but odds are that the Canada, doesn't lose 4 games to the Czechs in a best of 7, right? But that's not how it's done. It's
we wouldn't have lost any. And the irony, our first game in the Olympics there in February is against the Czechs.
There you go.
So That'll be interesting to see how McDavid and company, even though I disagree with our defense there, and I think I've already discussed that. I think on here, I'm not sure,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, you did. Yeah,
I know we've had some comments, quite a few actually come in. Holy cow, geez, it's good. But yeah, Hage is okay. Yeah, Hage came back and played well. Just catching up a lot of Hage stuff, and led the tournament in scoring, not named top 3. Who said that? Yeah, Andre, absolutely, Andre. It's a total joke. Jay said the same thing. Jay Teal. Look, the Hunters got it done in 2020, and I for one was pretty happy that they brought them back after my friend Dave Cameron really laid an egg last year, and the team was poorly constructed and built, and then was not really well coached. And I thought the Hunter Magic from London, Ontario was a nice transition to bring back. We've seen that in Canada before, and look, we were $1.14 away from going to OT, where
heartbreaking.
Would have been a coin flip there, of course, as OT is, and who knows how it would have played out. But same as last year, only it was a quarterfinal, so we got nothing. So at least this time here, we got a chance to play for bronze. So I know
the Hage snub. Like you say, it doesn't mean a lot, but I mean, it would have been nice for the kid, right? To get that recognition, because you lead the tournament in scoring. You score in every game. You're the best player on Canada. I really don't think there's a question of that. Sure, we got the Habs bias, but I mean, Jeff O'Neill is certainly not a Habs lover. Even he's saying it. So, but you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if he's named the forward of the tournament. And if not, then certainly we'll make the All-Star team, and it won't be the Hunters that are making those decisions either, right?
And won't that be interesting if in fact he does? I think he's got a good chance at that. I'll have to see. I'm not as familiar with the Czech stats. I know the Swedish All-Star there, the guy who's up against McKenna in the draft. What's his name?
Frondell?
Yeah. Is that who it is?
Stenberg?
Stenberg, yeah.
Yeah.
He may I think he'll be one of the 3 forwards, I think. But I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I mean, Frondell's got 8 points. He's the top scoring Swede. So
is he? Okay. Yeah.
The odds are it's not going to be a Swede. It may be Seahash. Probably Seahash is probably his main competition.
Do they just pick one forward in the All-Star?
Well, I think they pick a forward of the tournament, and the defenseman of the tournament, and the goalie of the tournament,
and a goalie. Okay.
And the player of the tournament, and and then an All-Star team. At the very least, he's going to be on the All-Star team. I can't.
Well, that's what I'm referring to. Then I misspoke. I refer to where they're going to pick 5 guys, including 3 forwards. So
right.
I figured that Swede would be one of the 3 forwards. So we'll see. But
maybe it could be Frondell. I think Seahash probably, but it wouldn't surprise me if typically they give it to the top scoring forward in the tournament, right? The top scorer gets some kind of honor, and at the very least,
we'll know in a few hours, buddy.
That's right. But at the very least, he's going to be on the tournament team, I believe, and I think I wouldn't be surprised if he wins the top forward of the tournament, and that makes Canada's management look even smarter then, Liam? I hope it happens.
Well, yeah, so do I, because that would be just the most unbelievable thing. Like, come on, boys, what the hell were you actually thinking about there? But what does Eric say here? Does overcooking a prospect more commonly cause more developmental stunting or allow a beneficial learning environment? Overcooking's in quotation marks. Did you see this comment?
Yeah. Eric usually asks some pretty good questions. He gets pretty thought-provoking there.
What prospect was overcooked?
I don't know. I'm not sure if he's, I don't think he's talking about Hage in general, is he? Or
I'm assuming he's referring to McKenna. I'm suspecting. I don't know. It's not clear. So I don't know. I just was scrolling through. There's a lot of Hage talk. He's not going to come to Montreal and play the wing. He didn't have a good tourney on at center, but I mean, who knows? Who knows what they'll do? Who knows even if he'll be there for sure? But I think the theory and thinking that based on where it's Michigan, right? Is that who he's with?
Yeah.
That you know how it plays out. There may be some time for him to join the Habs. I don't know, but if they sign him, they got to sign him still, right? So,
what do you think, Liam? Of you know, soccer teams do it, basketball teams, Americans do it. Having a coach that's not like, instead of just bringing in a junior coach, they did this a few years ago with Andre Tournier, where they made him the friggin' coach. He got around and evaluated, went and scouted as well. I mean, you want the coach to have players that he wants, right? And but then it's not somebody that has a bias one way or another. He's, you know, he's the coach. He's not affiliated with any junior team or any league. Have him as a coach. Pat Quinn was another example. Whenever they've done it, they've been successful with it. And I just wonder if they shouldn't. I mean, they're doing it now with the GM, with Alan Miller. Why not just every year, or it doesn't even have to be a year. If he's successful, bring him back again. But I mean, you can get good coaches because it led to another job for, I mean, Bear got an NHL job out of it, right? Like it's good for your resume. So they can get really good coaches, but I don't know. I like the idea of having a guy that's dedicated to it for the year. He coaches the U18, he coaches the U20, he coaches the World Championships at the end of the year. He's scouting, he's out scouting, looking at players, and that's his job is, have some camps, be talking to guys all year, and just go that route as opposed to just jettisoning in a junior coach every time. What do you think?
I think it's a great idea, Grant. I think it's born out of when we go a few years in a row like we have in the past and we don't win, then, look, there's been different times when it's been a debacle. Like 1998 was the big summit, right? And we've had a few other instances where people have questioned the foundation of hockey. Even Brendan Shanahan, the announcement of him coming in to oversee the minor hockey in Ontario here. Yeah, so that's an interesting move for him, and that's a whole other topic. To your point, I think it'd be a great idea. How you ever want to structure it, have the guy work his way up from U17, U18, either go with the group right up through. That'd be pretty cool, actually. I think. I think because we've had those 2 runs of 5 in a row, and the old mantra, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Then you're just rolling in guys and grabbing 2 assistant coaches from the other 2 junior leagues and floating it around because it don't matter. Canada's going to win. The parade route in Montreal will take the usual. The Stanley Cup parade route will take the usual route. We'll see everybody at Toe Blake's Tavern. I mean, it was a great announcement for decades there in Montreal. But, when you don't win, you look at where you can make some changes. That would be a change that I would fully endorse it. I would have no problem with it, Grant. I think it's a great idea. And I don't know that they'll do it, but I think that, like you said, they've kind of had a semblance of giving some guys multiple years in a row, things like that. I think Stan Butler was one of the first, to get a second shot. And
Dave King.
But
Dave King one point.
Yeah, Dave King was even before Butler, right? So there'd be a few guys on that list, but to try one to go all the way down to the U17 group, of course, there's 2 teams there, but to have that one guy maybe come up to the Helenka and then maybe the fall one, and then maybe take the World Junior team, I'd be all for it. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah. If they approach you, would you take the job, Liam?
Yeah, you know what, man? I got to say, as I finish up here, that I absolutely loved coaching when I
Yeah.
did. It was the lower ranks, but it doesn't matter. Practice or planning the practice on a nice surface and then have your assistant coaches and you tell them exactly what they're doing on their share of the ice between the blue line and the red line, what's going on in the neutral zone. I always had all three zones cooking, both goalies involved, lots of flow, lots of skill, but then lots of game management as well. You know, you would take the 3 points from the previous game of why maybe you lost. That was very rare for us. But on the odd occasion that we lost, I'd have the points and I would use them in the practice. Every Monday, you send the note to the parents. You're not at the practices. You come to the games. You want to know what's going on with little Johnny. Here's what we worked on today. Bing, bang, boom. Out you go for the game and away you go. And I absolutely loved it for 13 years. And believe me, if they offered it to me, I would jump at the chance. So would probably 5,000 other guys right now in Canada, probably even 50 that are watching right now would jump at the chance. And it would be an honor for sure to be involved in any type of program with a skill set that high. But listen, we're going to get it done again. It's just a matter of time. You continue to tinker. We obviously did a lot better in the last 2 years. This team was built to win. It just defensively, that's where the fall down was. That's where our Achilles heel in this tournament was defensively. We could score, but we couldn't keep the puck out of the net enough to get it done in those key games. And the Finland game, 7-4, was the one that probably was the red flag. We switched to goaltenders and we got ready for the Czechs 2.0. And we just couldn't catch up, right? We tied them and they just continue to pull ahead. So it was a hell of a game. It's a tough loss, but that's a nice bronze today.
All right, Liam. Well, you said 7:45 and it's 7:46. So we're going to have to let you go, my friend. You've got a CTV interview coming up here.
I do, yeah. If anybody's watching and you get CTV news at home, I'll be on there at 8:15, and I'm going to say a lot of the same stuff I just said right here. But the one point I am going to emphasize, Grant, is that this is the only level that we don't win at 99% of the time, and you don't have to be a rocket scientist or Scotty Bowman to figure out why. Our best teenagers are in the NHL, and the margin is so small. You know, it took 34 seconds left in 72 with Henderson. It took Sittler in overtime in 76. Took Mike Bossy in the semifinal in overtime 84. Wayne and Mario at their peak in 87 in the three greatest games ever played came down to $1:26 to go. Steve Larmer plays the best hockey of his life in 91. Theo Fleury in double or triple overtime against the Swedes in 96 to get us into the final where we lost the World Cup to the Americans. Missing Mario Lemieux, Patrick Waugh, Al McInnes, Ray Bourque, and Paul Correa. Missing those five guys. And we go into 2-1 in a best of three and lose. 98, we lose in a skills contest. 02, we win. 04, we win. 06, we stay with the old guard and patronize. We get waxed. 010, we win. 14, we win. 16, we win. 2025, we win. There's your 53-year history of Canada at its best. And all of the other minor hockey, including World Juniors, U20, we've dominated. And we will again, because we are the best. G'day.
All right, Liam. Have a great interview and pleasure having you on tonight, my friend. We'll catch up later.
We'll catch up later this week, Grant, for a Montreal Forum.
Sounds good. Thanks, Liam. Have a grand
everybody
grand
be
day.
well. Happy New Year to everybody, and thanks again for all the comments. I wish I could jump in, man. It's great, Grant. You gotta love it, man. People chiming in like that, it's great.
Oh my goodness, it's the live chats just exploded. We've got a great community we're building here, and thanks to you for
can't thank you enough for all the comments coming in. I don't even know the odd one probably negative, but that's good too. Doesn't matter, that's it's a free country and free world, and appreciate taking your time to offer any comment at all. At least I do. I'm sure you do as well, Grant. So thanks for doing what you do, Grant.
Okay. Thanks, Liam. Bye for now.
We'll catch you later. G'day.
Bye. Liam Maguire, the one and only. Gotta love the man. Not a more passionate Canadian hockey historian, coach, player, the whole works. He did it all and does it all. And hey, I'm just so glad that he had a few moments to come on with us before the big time there, CTV National News, in about 25 minutes. So thanks, Liam. Let's get to some comments here. Yeah, Hage did get injured at one point in the second period, and thinking, oh no, just add insult to injury, or injury to insult, I guess, in this case. Yeah. But he came back in the third, kept the assist going, surpassed Eric Lindros and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. I mean, even Gretzky didn't have 13 assists when he played in the World Juniors. So pretty damn impressive. Sammy Knight was kind of on here hanging out by himself there for the game. Had a few comments. Hage leading the tournament and having a 4-point night, playing great. It will be McKenna to get the player of the game and not Hage. Oh, so you picked the player of the game there, Sammy? Just what I thought. Hage robbed of another player of the game. You know what? I thought there were other games when maybe he deserved it more. I don't know. There were games where he was the definitive best player, but today you could have given it to either one, I think. But yeah, definitely. As Goat Caulfield said here, Hage best player of the tournament, hands down. Yeah, and I mean, I posted something yesterday, a clip from me saying, the abomination that he wasn't one of the three, and of course, people weighing in, oh, you're Montreal bias, and yeah, well, when Mike Johnson and Jeff O'Neill and everybody else is saying it too on the TSN panel, it's not no Montreal bias. It's just it's what it is. I mean, he led the tournament in scoring. I think it's the first time I see someone lead a tournament in points, never got player of the game nor top three. Yeah, I know. And as Liam said, some politics there, I think. That for them to even give it to, and I didn't think of it last night. It's the management team, the team's management that picks the three players of the tournament. And, I even mentioned it last night if I remembered. I mean, I knew that, but for some reason, I didn't think of it. But O'Reilly, oh, really? Baudouin was the best player. He wasn't even the best player on his line. Like, I liked O'Reilly, but Baudouin, up until today, O'Reilly was better today, but Baudouin was the better. Baudouin was better up until, as far as I'm concerned, up until the bronze medal game today. Oginla, Baudouin, Martin, Hage, even McKenna, and Perek for the points. I had to put O'Reilly 7th on the list going into today's game as far as best Canadian player. And the Hunters say, oh, we got to give it to our own guy. Like, it smells. It does smell. I'm sorry. And I'm glad that Liam brought it up. Has there ever been a player to lead the tournament and never get player of the game or 3 stars? Oh, wait, Michael Hage. Management Group Canada has been a joke this period. I hope these ones never come back. Well, I think Alan Miller, his time is up. He's failed and he's got to move on. I didn't think he should have been back after not taking Seneca and Hage last year and Perek and others. Like the team that was picked last year was a joke, I thought. And, them scoring 13 as 13 goals in the entire tournament kind of told us that. And then this year they turn around and they overcompensate with, they didn't pick enough competitive guys, right? Like your fourth line shouldn't have 5'11", 5'10" guys on it. I like Braden Coots, and I like 18-year-old 5'11" guys, 5'10" guys on your third line. That's typically not, the Czechs outgrinded that because they didn't have the size. You could easily put together a big competitive fourth line, like guys like Carson Wetch. And I mean, I could name 6-7 guys that could grind it out. And just, what ended up happening here was that Baudouin, Desnoyers, and O'Reilly ended up being better than Misa, Martone, and the Ginla line because they grinded it out. They had size. They were more competitive. And what Canada needed to do to offset the skill some, like I like Reshny, I like Coots, I like I like these guys, but they just even Lachenko, like they're just, your bottom lines need some size and physicality, right? And they didn't have that, and they didn't have that balance, and it ended up costing them. But that's just the forwards. I mean, I'm not even talking about the defense. Get a big, rugged blue liner on the shutdown role. They didn't have any big bruiser, no physical. Aitchison can lay the body, but he hardly did it in this tournament. He's not that big. They just they didn't have a prototypical shut. Look at the Czechs. They had the big trees there, right? And they're out, and they get the sticks in the way and everything. The two big trees on defense there, killing penalties and stuff. Canada's got those players available, but they didn't. They didn't go with them, and they didn't take the best junior hockey defenseman that there is this year. And, Ethan McKenzie, undrafted 2 years. Oh, no, we got to have him. We can't have the guy that's on pace for 50 friggin' goals. Captain of Medicine Hat, top plus-minus guy, dominating. Tell me that he couldn't have shut down Adam Tittleback, I'm not going to, and yes, I went a little overboard with saying, Czech CHL players that are mediocre in comparison to, Politin, Curran, Benak, Juracek are good CHL players. But on a whole, the 15 or whatever it is that play, in comparison to the best Canadian CHL players, are mediocre. And there was just, it was frustrating to see them outwork the Canadian team. And I think if there's some lessons to be learned from this, that hopefully the new GM will take, is that you got to have a mix of skill and high competitiveness, and I don't think they had enough Baudouins and O'Reillys. You get 6 of that type of player in the bottom 6. You get 6 skill guys in the top 6, and you grind. The bottom 2 lines grind it out, shut down the other teams. You get a couple of big defenders. You get the best defenseman in junior hockey, and you win. Anyway, good chance now the tournament will end up with Hage as a point leader. Yeah, well, as I showed there, folks, if you missed it, he's got a 4-point lead on Chihash, and unless Galvas has a 7-point game on defense, I don't think so. None of the Swedes, or even Frondell's got 8. You'd have to get 7. So, quite remarkable what Hage achieved this year. In my best case scenario, if you'd said going into the tournament, what would you expect from Hage? I think top 10 top 10 in points, but to almost tie the all-time assist record that Bedard last, 3 years ago, it was like crazy, 14 assists, comes within one of that. And these assists too, for the most part, didn't come against second-rate teams. Like Hage had his best games against like the Czechs, the Finns. Like he produced against every team, but it wasn't like he just like, he had 6 assists against Latvia and Denmark. No, his best games, most productive games were against the best teams that they faced, which makes it all the more impressive to me. Hage, we saw it. The one thing that Liam didn't mention is puck protection skills too, right? His puck skills and puck protection skills are very good. Does he sometimes overhandle a bit? Yeah. But, so does Demi. So does Jarosky. I don't mind a guy that on occasion overhandles, because it usually means that they can handle, that they have got confidence. You don't want to quell that. Just just make sure it's not done in high danger areas, risky areas. And Hage, usually when he's trying the dipsy doodle stuff, it's in the offensive zone. And if they do lose the puck, typically it's not disastrous. But, Hage wasn't on for a lot of goals against. I liked his play away from the puck. He was competitive. He had a tough game today. He got, they were certainly going after him. Got a few high sticks, they missed a couple of calls on him too. I don't know if the Hunters paid off the refs too, or I like that Liam didn't hold any punches on that, and he's not afraid to speak his mind. And hey, that makes 2 of us. Someone is late on the job. Go away. You're late on the job. Hage, playmaking is already on an NHL level. I can see him starting the third period of the season with Bolduc and Newhook. Yeah. I've spoiled folks here, eh? Like, don't expect me to be I have to watch the end of the game. I got to see who the stars are. I come down. I have to set up my camera. I have to get stats. Like, I think I'm spoiling people here. Do you know how many people are on the air within 5 minutes of the end of a game to put on a post-game show? Been spoiling you guys, eh? Eh, Seb? Have to wait 10 minutes after the game before like, I had to get this. I had to get this. I had to get our sponsor. By the way, Logsend. Logsend.com. Reclaimed wide plank flooring. The best in the land, folks. You guys go to their website. Check it out. I think it's really, really cool that this fella right here, Yvan Cornway, got all of his floors redone by the crew at Logs End, and he just loves it. Chris Neal, Chris Phillips, Mike Vernon, Mike Blunden, even, former Hab, you might recall. Gary Galley. The list goes on of former NHLers that have gotten floors done, just as examples from Logs End. So do me a favor, folks. If you're ever looking to get your floors done, look these guys up, ask them for a quote, tell them I sent you, and they'll look after you. They're huge hockey guys. Used to own the Nepean Raiders. Gord Black, the founder, played with Marcel Dion. He was a goalie. Played in the Quebec Major Junior League too, and has some great hockey stories. If you ever got my first hockey book that I put out, Gord Black was one of the people I featured in there, and a real interesting character. So, yeah, that's Logs End, folks. Now, Fort George. Boys, bronze, better than nothing. Yes, you bet. The yellow to go with the bronze here. Fort George, $10. Hey, great for somebody to. That's the lone donation here today so far, but that's like 5 people giving a toonie. So I appreciate the funds, Fort George. You've been great. I think you probably hold the record for the most $10 donations, and that's mighty generous of you. I appreciate it. I see what you were saying from playing on the right wing. It doesn't matter. If you're a center, you can play anywhere. You can play left wing, right wing. It doesn't matter. One iota, I don't think. I wouldn't worry about which wing he'd play on. If and when he watching Punk Bunker and listening to them talk about Martone and basically repeating your thoughts on him from years ago. I hope he proves you wrong, but time will tell. Yeah, I'm not the biggest Martone guy, but what, as you can tell, GLG there, or GJG, I can't make out what the middle letter is there. The Flyers obviously went size in this last draft, and they thought, well, we can go with the skinny kid Brantford. We can go with the undersized Higgins. Or Higgins maybe went ahead. Anyway, they thought Martone was the right pick, and he brings size. He'll get some goal scoring. He'll score goals. Hey, he scored 6 or 7 in this tournament, right? So he's always going to provide some offense. I just don't know. His play away from the puck has bothered me for a couple of years now. Just not a real overly competitive away from the puck, but it's something he can work on. He also needs to get faster. His skating's a little labored, but he's a big kid that can score and set up plays. So he'll be good on the power play in Philly. I just wonder, I don't see him and Michkov taking you to a cup. Like, they better have other guys that, like, these guys are going to be secondary. They're not going to be leaders, play drivers, I don't think. They aren't going to be out there shutting down, protecting the lead late in games. It's, but I like Berglund quite a bit. Ruohonen had a pretty solid tournament. These they picked a bunch of big players to help fortify the. Obviously, they've got some smaller guys in Brink and Konechny and Michkov and Barkey, and they're trying to get a balance there. But hey, it's really early. Martone move his defensive game down in the future for sure. $1.99 from Danielle. Right on, my friend. Not quite a toonie, but damn close. Thank you. It's easier for a center to become a winger than a winger to become a center. Well, it's impossible for a winger to become a center. It's like why these suggestions that, like, at least when you're 21 plus, you're playing the NHL or whatever, you can count on one hand the guys that went from the wing to center. They just don't. It's just not something that you do. It's that's why the suggestion that Slav maybe becomes a center is, in my mind, I think is far-fetched, and it's never going to happen. Yeah, Dana agreeing with me about having a permanent coach. I don't know about the U17, but U18, U20, and the World Championships next year, perhaps even. But for sure, one coach for the U18 and U20. You know, I didn't like Liam went a little further with that and put in the U17 as well. There's not a lot of break between the U17s and U18 or U20s, so I don't know if that would work, but for sure for the U18s and U20s, like Andre didn't coach the U17s, nor did Pat Quinn. Maybe the U.S. might not play in the Olympics because of the war they're planning. Ooh. Canada isn't for sale. Yep. Hockey Canada's doing a better job of allowing younger coaches to observe and learn from the old guard. There was room for improvement. Yeah. I have a name for the kid line, the banana split line. Slav is the bananas, Demi the chocolate and cherries, Cappy the 2 big scoops of vanilla. Oh. I've nicknamed them the Euro line. Yeah. Huh. I'll have to think about it. I haven't tried to name them. I knew I did the LSD line for line A, Slav and Doc. Also called them the 1, 2, 3 line because they went first, second, and third overall in the draft. That was easy. Come up with nicknames for those 3, but what we have Slav, Demi, and Cappy, the kids line, KDS line, K little I D DS kids line. Awesome, Liam. Yep. Good stuff, Liam. Happy New Year. Hey, Happy New Year to you too, Bartman. I'm not going to go too long here because I want to watch the gold medal game. I don't mind missing the start of it, but I have a feeling it's not even on upstairs. Liam, next head coach of the Habs. Hey, there you go. Hage could have had even more points. I know the posts and stuff. He should have scored 5 or 6. Really. Come on, folks. We haven't got over 100 people here. Not quite the same. Hey, we're talking Habs here too, eh? So if you're over on X, come on over, YouTube, HabsCast. Join us. Everyone's saying he's the best player, so why is he not picked and not voted? Yeah. Because of politics. If you'd have caught that with Liam, he didn't pull any punches. Owen Protz would have been nice. You know what? As it turned out, Owen and Pickford. Yep. I don't disagree with that. Come on, people. Hit the like button there, folks. Grant, currently Canadian teams own the 3 last spots overall in the NHL. There you go. Ancient plays physical during the regular season. He didn't bring that element to this tournament. I was surprised. So was I. I thought that he would play a physical game, and really no Canadians were overly physical. It's weird. That was always our trademark, right? Now the European teams are more physical. It's like, huh? Any chance? Yeah, Hage can play. Of course he can. Haters will hate. Keep doing your thing, and your channel will do just fine. Right on. Oh, GLG, $2. Westgard was my favorite flyer to watch. Yeah, he's pretty skilled, eh? I didn't mind Westgard. I thought the Flyers had a few good players that And there you go. Martone, number 1 with 6 goals. So it's funny, Martone and McKenna getting a lot of flack and, second in scoring and leading the tournament in goals. I don't know. I didn't think they were that bad. Both have to improve their play away from the puck. McKenna, I agree with the sentiment that, and I mean, I even said it going in. This is by no means a lock. I don't think this year is a there's no franchise players in this draft. McKenna has some warts. I don't. A little undersized offense first winger. Doesn't necessarily go to the dirty areas, isn't physical. Gonna get a pile of assists. He reminds me somewhat of Marner, but certainly Marner became, McKenna will have to come a long way in his defensive game to be as good as Marner. But so this is a draft, Marner went 4th overall in his draft year. So for me this year, in a good draft, the top player in this class probably is about 3rd or 4th overall, which is still decent, but not, it doesn't, I don't think this class can compare with some of the better classes. Mind you, the 2nd overall pick from last year doesn't look Misa. The jury's still out on him. I know you can't take too much, and I wish I'd had more time with Liam, but you can't put too much stock in one tournament, and he missed a lot of the year. But Misa did not look like a 2nd overall pick in this tournament, at least. I don't know if he'll be ready to play in the NHL next year. Might be a case of him playing in the AHL next year. I think they're changing the rules and stuff, and I wouldn't be surprised if he needs a year in the minors, because he certainly doesn't look like he's NHL ready, close to being NHL ready just yet. Who would be your top 5 picks for next year, Cody? I can't answer that. I don't spend enough time watching the 16-year-olds. Apologies, but I just don't. Be much easier for Hage to start on the wing. He has played wing this year in college. Yeah. What he does is he starts the he doesn't take the draws, but then he predominantly plays on the wing after the draws, or sorry, at center. But it doesn't matter. Like I say there, as far as right wing, left wing, easiest transition is center to right wing, or right wing to left wing, or center to left wing. It's not a huge deal. H wasn't even on the ice for very many goals against. No, he wasn't. No, a lot of his goals points came on the power play, and he was still like about +7. So I'm going to look it up here. Just bear with me for a sec. I'm going to look up his goals against in this tournament. It wasn't many. Okay, that's finally melted. I can put it in the cozy. Michael Hage. Goals against in the tournament. 3 goals against all tournament. 8 games. And that's counting exhibition. That's something else, isn't it? On the ice for 3 goals against and had 15 points. Tell me that wasn't a top 3 player on the team worthy. I'm just going to, I'm curious here how many minutes he played. Averaged 1631. So he played 132 minutes on the ice for 3 goals against. But that, okay, so really in the tournament, 2, 3. Was he on the ice for any goals against today? I didn't. Was there 1? Going into today, he played 6 games and was on the ice for 2 goals against. 33 off of that, 100 minutes. Just give me a second here. 100 minutes divided by 60, 1.662 divided by 1.66. 1.2 goals per 60 minutes that he's on the ice. That's absolutely incredible stat. So going into today, it's not bad. In fact, fantastic. But not good enough to be one of the players of the tournament for Canada. Celebrini at the World Juniors would have been just unfair. Yeah, let's have a look here one more time, folks. Seneca, Celebrini, Hage, top line. That's what I would have had. Imagine Hage setting up Seneca and Celebrini. He'd have had 20 assists. Catton, Kindle, McKenna, McGinley, Misa, Martin, Denwyer, Baudouin, O'Reilly. That, you know, the line that ended up being Canada's second best be the 4th line. Martone as a spare. Not too shabby. Kid line 2.0. Out of 7 Canadian teams, yeah. Oh. Kid line 2.0. The defensive side of the game was very weak in this tournament. Yeah. Well, I get it. Ever since Bettman came into the league, it's become harder and harder for Canadian teams. No Canadian teams have won a cup with Bettman as that probably answers your question, why they're at the bottom. We got to fight the tax thing. He doesn't do enough to offset it. The difference in the dollar doesn't matter to Bettman. As long as his American teams win every year, he doesn't give a shit. As long as his American owner buddies make millions, doesn't matter to him. Yeah, Celebrini would have been the defense side of the game was very weak in this tournament. Ooh, boy. Did you scout Suzuki in his draft year? Oh, yeah. I ranked him top 10. I think I had him 8 or 9 on my list. He ended up going 13. I had him and Robert Thomas back-to-back in the top 10. And Suzuki went 13 and Thomas went 20. It's funny, a couple of years back, Vancouver fans, when I first suggested it, hey, I think Suzuki could ultimately be better than Pettersson. Oh my God. Like Vancouver fans, I don't know if you follow social media very well, but like they're right up there with Toronto as far as just irritating, like trolls and thin-skinned and just arseholes. There's so many of them. It's crazy, Vancouver fans, but oh my God, the vitriol that I got from not being absolutely sold on Pettersson, and I don't know. Now a lot of them, should have got rid of Pettersson instead of Horvat, and should have did, yeah, maybe, eh? I wouldn't take freaking Pettersson over Nick Suzuki today, not even close. Wouldn't it be ironic if Hage is selected as a tournament MVP? Well, that's the other thing. I didn't say tournament MVP, but forward, yeah, he might be. But typically it goes to a team that's playing in the gold medal game and the gold medal team. But if the Swedes win, is there a Swede that you could say wins the tournament MVP? It might be Hage. I think he gets forward of the tournament. But I'm you must have missed the start, Johnny, because I mentioned it. I think he's the best bet to win forward of the tournament, and if not, well, certainly on the All-Star team at the very least. The leading scorer in the World Junior Tournament makes the All-Star team. It's almost automatic. I'd love to see Hudson play with Susie and Cole. Just a fantasy fun thought. You want to play forward. Well, I think he's a defenseman. The best hockey games involved the Russians, 70s. Yeah. Yeah, well, it is what it is. Well, I had some critics on McKenna. It's true. He shined more than Misa in this tournament. Smooth skating, great vision, smart passes. Misa was more vanilla. Yeah. Certainly seemed like he had more vision, right? His playmaking was a lot better than Misa in this tournament. I really liked the Ginla's game. Oh, I've liked again Iggy. I've liked Iggy for a couple of years now. McKenna, 5-on-5 was invisible. That's a little harsh. It's important to note the small sample size. Yes. Yep. You can note it two ways, like Martone leading the tournament in scoring, small sample size, or struggling away from the puck, small sample size. You can look at it two ways, I guess. Bettman handed the cup to the Habs. That was his first year. Yeah. That's right. That was his first year. He came into the league, right? And never handed a cup to a Canadian team after that, right? As I say, ever since his first year, since he came into the league, Canadian team hasn't won a cup. He didn't have any influence on that first year, right? He wasn't at the first meetings. There were no decisions made with Bettman. He handed the cup to him, but the summer meetings were right after, and all the decisions made. Bettman didn't come in and make changes. He was named. He's the president. He hands the cup to the Habs. Then the changes come in, right? His first summer as president, commissioner, and never been a Canadian team win with him making decisions as the commissioner of the league. Because he is NCAA and O'Reilly plays for Hunter. Yeah, well, the Hunters are still children. Well, Dale Hunter cross-checking Pierre Turgeon when he scored the goal in the playoffs that year, right? Stenberg is a legitimate number 1 draft pick. Yeah, okay. Detroit beating Ottawa 2-0. I don't know if that's good or not. Sorry if you already answered this at some point, but where did you have Hage ranked before his draft? Surely go top 15? Well, I don't know. Maybe. I still like Surin quite a bit. I had him ranked 18th, so I had him ranked higher than where he went. I didn't mind that pick by the Habs at all. I had Surin a little higher, but one of the two. Vancouver fans don't really know what makes up a Stanley Cup winning team up close and personal. Old Montreal fans saw that. What made up a Stanley Cup winning team? Yep. Oh, here's a new name. Good evening, Grant. Andy, Mr. Andy's got it. I don't watch much junior hockey, but is Carter George really one of the best 3 goalies that could have represented Canada in the tournament? Well, I wonder. I wish the heck that they'd have played Ravensbergen. He's having a really good year. Just there's always some funny decisions made. It's like they put the blinders on and this is our decisions and it doesn't matter what. Da 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 da. Dvorak just signed 5 years, $5 million in Philly. There you go. Remember people criticizing, $5 million for Dvorak. I didn't. And especially with we knew that the cap was going up. In 5 years' time, by the end of his contract, $5 million will be close to the average salary. Like I bet you it's $4.5 million thereabouts at that point. Yeah. Love Dvorak, hate the years, but oh well, hard to find centers. I wouldn't worry about the 5 years. A smart defensive center that wins faceoffs is good into his mid-30s typically. He'll be effective. Look at it like a Glenn Denning and friggin', a lot of guys, Nate Thompson. Yeah. How old's Devo now? Like 28, 29? He'll still be freaking effective 4 years from now. If by the 5th year he's slowing down, well, you can always trade him somewhere else, depending on where you're at. Devo is 29. Nah. I'd worry about it if he was a scoring, center and you were giving him $8 million for 5 years at 29, but $5 million for the job he does that relies more on smarts and face-offs than anything, he'll still be effective in 4 or 5 years, I think. Fifth year, no clauses. There you go. That's not a bad deal. He's been excellent. Looks like Zegras will be treating Cole to a dinner when he signs $9 million with Philly. Yeah, there you go. Funny, like Zegras and Dvorak playing together. And that's like Cole's 2 best buddies. Yeah. If anyone watching the match, longevity Gord had. If anyone will match the longevity Gord had. Yeah. Gordie Howe. No one's ever going to. Well, Chris Chelios be close. Chelly played, and Jagger too. Yeah. Well, folks, I might have to get rolling here. Please hit the like button. I'd appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't already. We're up to, we're getting. I hope to hit 5,000 sometime over the next month and a half. Would be great. I think we're up to almost 4,300 subscribers. 5,000's next goal. But again, I just like looking at this again and again, whenever you get thinking, oh, geez, is Canada starting to regress? No. This is what the team that they could have had. And safe to say that I don't think anybody would have touched them. Right? What a lineup. So came within a goal of making the final again, and ended up winning a medal. Kudos to them. Good for the kids to good for the kids to bounce back like that. There's so much pressure on Canadian kids, right? Canada to win. And we're getting suddenly a lot of people are weighing in here. Let me go through a few. Yeah, I thought so. Zegras. Yeah, Dvorak Konechny. A lot of people wanted, oh God, Zegras at center. That's not the best. No. You gotta people don't understand center. You've got to be good defensively. You just have to be. I like Zegras a lot, but he's ideally on your wing. It's just that's where he needs to be. And you notice that's this line here when people talk about, Cappy's not your ideal second line center. Well, what's this line? Does this remind you of the Cappy line to a certain degree, right? Two skilled players on the flanks and the defensive two-way center in the middle. It's just the typical makeup of a lot of lines. The Islanders put Barzal on the wing, Horvat at center. Horvat's the better two-way centerman. It's just so important to be conscientious defensively when you're playing center. Like you notice Montreal's penalty killing units the other night. They had Cappy, Veleno, Deneau, and Suzuki. The four centers were the four penalty killers. There you go. Well, four of the Beck, I guess, was the four center, but Veleno's played a lot of center this year too. It just goes to show you, right? I'm not even going to read that one, Jimbo. Dvorak was making $4.5 million, and everyone wanted him gone. Montreal, Philly can have him $5 million. Yeah. His last two seasons in Montreal, Philly can have him. So I'm not quite sure what you're saying there. So if you're happy, like Philly can have him. I don't quite understand. Are you praising them signing him or giving a shot at Habs fans? I don't quite understand. Danielle, great show. Thanks, Grant. And thanks for the contribution, Danielle. I appreciate it. Everybody that chips in here. It's always highly appreciated. What's going on with Ottawa? I don't. What do you mean? Just a sec here. I just have to double check something. Oh, by the way, live lunch tomorrow. 2 Big Macs for lunch. Eric Macramella, back from his Christmas hiatus. People are finally slowly, no more solo shows for me. It's good because I run out of things to say after a while. But Eric and I haven't chatted in a while, and he's a great host. And it's nice to have someone else host for a change and ask me questions online, other than, aside from everybody on the live chat. But so tomorrow, live lunch, Eric's going to come on for about an hour during lunch tomorrow. We'll set up the upcoming game, talk about Canada, talk about the road trip there, because Eric, if you remember, if you saw the last one, was going on about how, this would really be the test for the Canadians, that the bad schedule that they had in December and the start of January. And it's fair to say that the Canadians fared pretty well. So we'll be talking about that. We'll talk about the Canada, the World Juniors, and we'll have a great conversation tomorrow at noon. And then when Eric leaves, it's going to be live, and I'll take your questions and comments in the live chat after that. So if you can join us at noon tomorrow, Eric Macramella and yours truly will be doing a HabsCast, and I look forward to that. Drum Dude, late again. Dude, gonna drum you out of town. I wonder if Danault will receive an ovation in his first game at the Bell Center. I would think so. You think he'd get booed? Good night, Grant. You do an amazing job. Thank you, Apple Tile. It's kind of a cool name. Danault helped carry the team that made into the finals. I expect a long ovation. Oh, yeah. And, local boy coming back too, right? That doesn't hurt. He should go out with a pizza. Piece of pizza in his hand. That's what he should do. Dan, keep up the good work. Well, keep showing up, and I'll try to keep up the good work as best I can, folks. 8:43. Okay. I'm going to wrap this up here. Fans wanted Dvorak gone his past 2 seasons. Yeah. You're predicting that they'll regret the deal. Yeah, okay. Well, you always got to get in your opposing opinion there, Nash. We certainly aren't on the same wavelength most of the time. That's fine. Again, he's centering a top 2 line, the best line probably in Philadelphia, at $5 million. He's putting up great stats, very good on faceoffs, very good defensively, kills penalties, and he's making $5 million a year, and you think they'll regret the deal. Could not disagree more, Nas. Predictions for the gold medal game. the predictions for the gold medal game would be predict that I better get up there and start watching. I don't know. Is the game started yet? If it's like 3-0 for one team, I'll pick that team. I think I have a feeling Sweden's gonna finally do it. They usually lose. I think for whatever reasons, they're gonna do it this year. Thanks a lot, Grant. I appreciate your interaction with us. Always interesting. Thanks, Simo. And thank you that, you can handle me disagreeing with you on occasion. And that same goes for NAS. I always appreciate you guys coming on. I don't think that Flyers will regret that deal. 3 years' time, $5 million will be almost just be the league average, and he's still going to be a top 3 center. Third center is one of your top 10 players, and sometimes arguably your top 8. And Devo in 3 years, I think will still be a top 2 center in Philly. So if you're making just over the league average, playing a top 2 center role, it's actually a very good deal. They may regret it for like 1 year, but the other 4, that's important. 0.4 minutes in. Thanks, Drum Dude. And dude, sorry, you're late to the party here. Maybe, I don't feel guilty leaving like I do sometimes when taking the money and running, because folks haven't been donating here the last half hour or so. I don't feel too bad. Sometimes there's a guilty feeling there. Jake V, you're the man, Grant. Was Hage Canada's best player in those World Juniors? Well, you obviously missed the start too. Yes, he was. Maybe the best player in the tournament, to be honest with you. I don't think he'll win tournament MVP, but I would give him the forward of the tournament and have him on the all-star team. We'll see what the powers that be decide. All right, folks. Eric Macramella tomorrow at noon, live lunch. And then next day after the Habs game, of course, I'll be doing my post game. So thank you as always for tuning in. I'm not going to do a show after the gold medal game tonight. But tomorrow, lunchtime, Eastern, I will be on. Johnny Golden always comes in late with Johnny, you're like clockwork. Just when I go to sign off, you post. Pickford name, tempo, WHL Player of the Month for December. Good for him. That was about as big a no-brainer. The only way possible that he wouldn't have been named the WHL Player of the Month is if they'd had the Hunter brothers making the decision. Only 3 players had more than Hage's 15 points. Yeah. Well, only 1 player has ever had more assists, and that was Bedard. In the last 33 years, only 1 player had more assists in the tournament than Hage, and that was Bedard. And it was only 1 more. So, pretty crazy, eh? All right, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Hope to see you tomorrow. And go Habs, go.